everyone, my name is Mary Ellen, and welcome back to my little slice of the internet. If you don't already know me, I write nonfiction under my real name, Mary Ellen Quigley, and romance under my pen name, M.E. Laverne. And today we're going to talk about how social media has affected my ability to write. So today is a little bit of a confession, and I hate to even admit this, but it's also a reality check. I think not just for me, but probably for other people as well. We're going to dive into how social media, especially TikTok, has absolutely wrecked my ability to concentrate and write. So if you have ever sat down to write and ended up scrolling your For You page for 45 minutes straight, you're in good company. Let's talk about it. I'll be honest with you guys. I absolutely love TikTok. And I was really devastated earlier in the year when they were talking about banning TikTok in the United States, which it could still happen, which makes me sad. I love the bookish community I found there. I love how you can find little niches and different communities to tap into. I love finding writing tips from other people. The chaotic humor, just the funny videos are so much fun to scroll and look at. After a long day when you just want to relax, I have made some genuine connections with other authors through TikTok, not only there, but also if you follow my personal account, I've been on a weight loss journey. So I've met really awesome people in the weight loss community. And I've even discovered some tips and tricks on how to format my books and how to design covers and marketing tips and just little things that have been so helpful. I've even found things like stupid things like household tips and DIY. I mean, it's an absolutely amazing resource for so many people. But here's the catch. TikTok and other sites like it, because let's be real, it's not just TikTok, it's Instagram Reels, it's a million different other social media platforms. They are designed to be addictive. The whole purpose is to keep you on the app and to continue looking at the things that they're offering. And every time you scroll or you swipe or whatever you're doing, it gives you a dopamine hit. And there is actual studies, I'm not a scientist, but look it up. There's actual scientific studies that prove that that's what's going on. And for someone like me with a creative brain who is prone to chasing shiny ideas, shiny idea syndrome, that is dangerous. That is very dangerous for me. So I used to be able to sit down and write for 2 or 3 hours without even really taking a break. I would get up to pee. I would go grab a snack or drink, something like that. But I mean, I could sit down for an entire afternoon, and I got so much done in the past. Finding a random Saturday or a Sunday afternoon and being like, I'm going to write from 12 to 4. And I mean, you guys were on a couple writing vlogs with me. I could knock out tons of stuff in just a few hours because I would sit down and I could just focus. Now I can barely make it through a writing sprint without checking my phone just to check something really quick. Spoiler alert, it's never quick. I end up suddenly getting looped in and I'm scrolling the phone for hours. And that kind of distraction, I guess is the best way, has chipped away at my attention span. So that now when I sit down to write, it's like my brain is searching for rapid fire stimulation, and writing feels slow, plotting feels slow, even reading a book. And I'm talking about writing because that's the whole purpose of why I get on here and talk to you guys, talk about my writing career. But even reading a book, I really tried to push reading books earlier this year, and it has become so difficult for me to sit down and concentrate on a book. And even when I do sit down, I get bored with plots. Like if there's not enough happening in the plot, then I get bored. Whereas I used to really love back in the day the slow burn romances and the ones where there was a ton of growth and personal reflection, and 3/4 of the way through the book they finally figured out they love each other, that kind of thing. And now I'm bored with it, and that was never the case for me in my younger years before I really got wrapped into social media. And one of the biggest impacts I've noticed is not just that my attention span is shorter, but that it's fragmented. So I'll start a scene, for example, and before I even really get halfway through the scene, I'll start thinking of another scene, or what's going to happen later in the book, or what's this character going to, if it's a series, what's this character going to do in book 2, and how's this person going to react 3 chapters from now, and how can I tie this into what's going to happen at the end of the book? And instead of just being able to stop and focus on just the scene that I'm writing and making that a quality scene, I'm already thinking about how that scene is going to relate to all the other scenes that come after it, which is okay from a certain perspective, but from a writing perspective, you need to be able to focus on what you're doing and to get that done. And then you can reflect and decide where you're going from there. And for me, I find it really hard just to focus on the one scene and to get it written. The worst part is I think it has also affected my quality of writing because my drafts feel more rushed and my storylines feel more rushed because I'm expecting things to be pacing quickly and I write things more in clips than in full chapters. And to be honest with you guys, I'm losing my ability to really sink into my story world, which is heartbreaking to me because those are the things that make your stories great and those are the things that make you a good writer. It's not just about productivity and the fact that I'm having trouble getting things written. It's about the depth of my writing because good writing takes time. It takes the ability to reflect, and it's not something you can really rush unless, you don't mind putting out subpar work. And social media, especially fast-paced apps like TikTok, I think, are working against that. I'm trying to train my brain to slow down and to go deep again, but it is a process. So here are a few things I'm doing, and maybe you guys can find these helpful. Some of these you may already know about, and some of these you may not. The first one is turning off notifications to the phone. So I have all of my app notifications turned off, other than like emergency apps. I have some work apps, like banking apps, that kind of thing. But all the social media apps, the notifications are turned off. I also have my my sound turned off on pretty much everything. So the only people that can really contact me are like emergency apps, bank apps, my sister if she texts or calls me, my brother, same thing, close family. Otherwise, if you're trying to get a hold of me through any of the apps on my phone, I'm not going to know that you're contacting me unless I pick up my phone and I look at it. I have all of it, like Messenger, Facebook, all of that. All of it's turned off. So if you haven't already turned off notifications, I highly recommend it because you would be surprised how much it cuts down on the phone time just having those turned off. The second thing I'm doing is when I do writing sprints, I use a timer, and I do not use my phone for this. I use an old-fashioned kitchen timer. Picked it up at the Dollar Tree, of all places. Just an old spinny kitchen timer, and I put it on for like 20, 25 minutes, whatever, for my writing sprint. And while I'm doing my writing sprint, that timer's the only thing I have, and my phone is face down behind me because I'm at my desk and I have a table back here. So face down behind me, I cannot see the phone. It's not dinging because my notifications are turned off and I'm not even picking it up to use the timer. And I will set my timer, and then when my timer dings, I will have my 5, 10, whatever minute break that I take, like when I usually do my Pomodoro method. And during that 5 to 10 minutes, then I'm allowed to pick up my phone and scroll, and I set the timer for whatever. And then when it dings, the phone once again face down behind me where I cannot see it. And that has actually helped me because I don't see as silly as it sounds, I don't see the phone. So because I don't see the phone, I'm not wanting to reach for it as much. Now, the first couple times I did this, the urge to reach for the phone was strong. But I have found that over the last couple of weeks as I've been implementing that process, it has gotten less and less each time I sit down to write. Third one is I'm very mindful of content creation. I talked about this earlier in the year. Sometimes less is more. And I don't necessarily think that you need to be on the phone, on social media more specifically, all day long, every day, constantly posting. I'm very intentional with what I share. I want the things I'm sharing to be meaningful. I would rather post once or twice a week with a really meaningful post than 2-3 times a day, every day, constantly responding to comments, constantly doing whatever, not having the time to just step away. And does that mean I'm going to have a ton of followers on social? Probably not. That's probably going to hurt my social media growth, and that's fine. The constant consuming was affecting not only my ability to concentrate, but also really my mental health in a lot of ways as well. And last but not least, I call it digital detox hours. So I take some time every single day, and especially on the weekend where my phone gets put down in a room somewhere. I usually turn on the ringer for like family. So if my sister or brother calls, I can hear them call. But otherwise, I put it like on the dresser or my nightstand next to my bed, on my dresser, something like that. I'll put the phone somewhere where if it rings from a family member, I can hear it, but otherwise I do not have the phone on me. And so I will go do something else. Like I'll go do a craft. I'll go sit in the yard with my dog and read a book. I'll clean the house. I don't know. I'll find something to do, right? I'll work on something. And then that allows me to have 2, 3, 4 hours. It was really funny the first time I did it though, because I put the phone down and I had gone out into the yard with the dog to clean up like the winter mess, like the sticks and the leaves and all the things from winter, some spring yard cleanup, right? I came back in, washed my hands, cleaned up a little bit, sat down, did a little bit of crafting, vacuumed the floor, swept the floor. So at this point, it had been like 3, 4 hours and my phone had been sitting on the nightstand by my bed. And when I came to check the phone, everyone was in a panic. Are you okay? My sister, like, are you okay? You didn't answer. Is everything okay? You didn't answer. I'm like, I'm fine. I didn't have my phone on me. And then I told her what I was doing. I'm like, hey, I'm doing some digital detox time here and I didn't have my phone on me. So once I told her that, she was less panicked. And I just am like, hey, this is something I'm going to do. You know, if you don't hear back from me in like 5, 6, 7 hours, then maybe panic. But I'm going to start taking a couple of hours here or there where I just don't have my phone on me because I need to step away from the phone, from the social media, and from constantly consuming information and just really focus on the moment. I think that's the biggest thing, is learning to really enjoy and focus the moment that you're in and not constantly being like, can I take a picture of this and post it on my Instagram? You know, that's the big thing for me. So I think it's important to also mention, I'm not shaming anyone for using TikTok. I absolutely love TikTok. I do. I'm not shaming for anybody for like wanting to take pictures of what you're doing, to put it on your Instagram. I mean, I've done vlogs with you guys where I've literally carried my phone around all day to post content. And I'm not saying that I'll never do. I like doing vlogs for you guys. But I'm realizing that you have to strike a balance, right? You have to find a balance, because as a writer, I have to admit that my brain is not immune to the way that these apps are designed. If you're also struggling to write, you're not alone, because I've talked to several people who have said the same thing, that they feel like in the last 3, 4, 5 years, as they've gotten into the short form videos and into the scrolling, the feeds, it's really affected them. And we're living in a world that is constantly demanding our attention. So it takes time to develop skills where you can kind of grab your time back. Even in my work life, because I work remotely, so I don't see the people I work with in person. We communicate online through Microsoft Teams. We do our meetings through Teams. We chat through Teams. We call each other through the app. We have each other's cell phone number, but nobody texts, right? We all use Microsoft Teams. So even in my work life, I have had to learn how to, for example, turn on settings in the app where I'm not getting messaged at 11 p.m. because as much as I enjoy my job, I don't want to receive messages about my hotels at 10, 11 o'clock at night unless it's an emergency. So I have had to learn how to limit that as well. And I think that that's not only for work, but that's just for everything else we do. Like, are you spending time with the people, quality time with the people you love, doing the things you love, that's uninterrupted and not connected to social media or your phone in some kind of way? I'm still figuring this out. I'm still a work in progress. And I'm not going to lie, I am still guilty of sitting down to scroll TikTok for 10 minutes and I'm there 2 hours later. I mean, it is a constant struggle for me. And I'm wondering if other people have noticed this in their writing career. How has social media affected your life? Do you feel like you have a good balance? Are you struggling to find your focus again? What kind of tips are you implementing to help yourself find better balance? I would love to hear about it. So feel free to drop a comment below if you're watching me on YouTube or wherever else you're listening to this. If you're listening to the podcast version, feel free to drop some comments somewhere or see me on social media and let's chat about it. So I hope that this video helps you feel a little less alone if this is something you also struggle with. Again, it's a reality check. It's also a big confession for me. But hopefully somebody who's also going through this will feel just a little bit less alone knowing that it's something I also struggle with. If you liked my content, be sure to like it, subscribe, share, all the things. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.